If you want to never have sex again, do this. If you want to have no sex, do this. What? We don't want that. Help, help, Dr. Cheryl, help. I am here to serve you. Look, bit of a tongue-in-cheek opening, but what I'm saying is very important. I'm going to lay some pretty discouraging statistics on you right now. In long-term relationship, which really is meaning you're together more than a year or two, it doesn't necessarily mean you've been together for decades, but in the majority of long-term relationships, there's a high proportion of people, up to 30% in some studies, up to 40% in about 8,000 couples I've surveyed in the last few years who are in a sexless relationship. Now, how do we define that? There's various ways to define it, but a lot of us sex therapists define sexless relationship as making love 6 or fewer times a year. Well, that would be every couple of months. You may be going, oh, well, we're technically sexless. Let's change that to a low sex relationship. But the more sobering statistic and finding is that about 20 to 30% of longer term couples don't make love at all. And they haven't made love in as long as 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I have couples in my online program, one in particular, that they had not made love since their 40s. They joined my program in their 70s. Through working through the Become Passion program, they became sexual again. They talk about how for 30 years, they changed in the walk-in closet separate from each other, so nobody saw each other's naked body. And since they've reinvested in this problem, you want to have no sex? Do this. I'm going to tell you what the problems are even more in a minute. They move towards having sex again, and they say, we change in front of each other, we're naked in front of each other, we slap each other's naked bum as we walk by. There's always hope to change this. So I started this a bit quirky, like if you want no sex, do this. Really what I want to teach is how to move from low sex or boring, mediocre sex or no sex at all to becoming sensual. But here's the problem I need to define first. The problem is, you're waiting for something called spontaneous desire. This isn't taught enough, but this is from research of Rosemary Basson and other incredible researchers and clinicians. Essentially, and this is a little oversimplified, but it will do for today, there are 2 types of sexual, sensual, turn-on, horniness, desire I want you to think about. The first one is the one we're more familiar with, spontaneous desire. That's where you might be dating or in love with your person or feeling horny, or you kiss them goodnight and your tongues touch and boom, you're turned on. You're aroused. You're sexually motivated. You'd like to make love. Isn't it the greatest? I talked in the last video in this series about being romance duds and not having any fun and not dating and doing all the fun things we did in the earlier months or years of our relationship. That can apply quite well here too to what we do or don't do in or out of the bedroom, which is, are you cultivating a sexual life? Now, if you're waiting around for spontaneous desire, you'd be waiting a long time. I won't go into it in depth here. I can do it elsewhere. But there's a lot of psychological, hormonal, physical, and relational reasons why after about 18 to 24 months for a lot of couples, might be several more years for some of you, your spontaneous desire really, really slows down. You're not easily turned on for no reason, spontaneously. Gosh, when I was dating my hubby, we've been together 10 years now. I was 49 when I met him, so I wasn't a spring chicken by any means. We made love twice a day. We had so much desire and passion for each other. We'd set the alarm for 4:30 in the morning so we could have a quickie before he had to leave for his work at 5:30. He would kiss me goodnight when I was exhausted after a super long day and I had no thought or feeling of sexuality on my mind. He would kiss me goodnight, his tongue would touch mine, and boom, spontaneous desire. Oh, honeys, I miss that. I miss it so, so much. It was 10 years ago. We've been together 10 years. Menopause came in there. It changed things. So that's the type of desire you're waiting around for, and that's how to have no sex. Am I clear? Let me underline it. The way to have no sex is to wait for spontaneous desire. Well, what do we do then? Are we doomed? No, you're not. Research is very clear on another type of desire, meaning horniness, turn on, being motivated to make love, wanting to have sex, etc. And that's called responsive desire. Responsive desire isn't as sexy, I'll be honest, as, whoa, you kissed me and I'm horny. That's gorgeous. It's sexy. It's a turn on. Responsive desire is where you start making love from a place where neither of you is turned on. One of the phrases Rosemary Besson uses is you start making love from a place of sexual neutrality. Sexual neutrality. What does that mean? Well, it means you're not turned on. Well, that's weird. Why would we start to make love when we're not turned on? Because you know sex is important, because you know you'll enjoy it when you get into it, because you know it's been 3 weeks, because you know it will relax you or connect you emotionally, because it's delightful. You decide to make love, which I'm now going to drop the big truth bomb of the way to have sex instead of here's how to have no sex, which is to rely on spontaneous turn on. Here's how to have sex. Schedule sex. I know. This is never popular. We want the spontaneous back. I do too. I want to kiss my guy goodnight, have his tongue touch mine, and be frickin' ready to go. That's unusual. It happens sometimes. Enjoy the hell out of it when it does. But the way to have a better erotic life, I teach this for weeks in the 12-week program. It's one of the breakthrough parts of the program for couples I work with, is to schedule sex. And if you haven't made love in a long time, you're probably not ready to actually start making love. But then you schedule a sensual encounter. Maybe you cuddle naked and spoon each other. Maybe you stroke each other's back or arms. Maybe you give a foot rub. Maybe you have a shower or a bath together. And if you're very shy, like my couple who were changing in their walk-in closet and not seeing each other, you do it by candlelight. So I'm just laying out here some groundwork of some much bigger topics. I can explore them more in future Love Bites. I'll do some podcasts on this as well, where I can take a deeper dive. Make sure you listen. But what I want you to take away is this. The way to have no sex is to not schedule it. My friend and colleague and brilliant clinician Esther Perel says, married sex is planned sex. You plan, you make a decision, and then you go enjoy yourself. It's a bit like going to the gym. I never want to go to the gym. I don't feel like going to the gym. I don't wake up going, ooh, I want to lift weights. I never do. I go because I know it's good for me. I know I'll feel good afterward. And on the way home from the gym, I never say, I wish I hadn't done that. Make your sex life like that. Maybe that doesn't sound too sexy to you, but you know what's not sexy? Never having sex. So schedule sex, go to the sex gym. That sounded really kinky. I love it. With your partner and say, I'm not into this. I don't feel like having a workout, but I'm going to go through the motions. And then, oh, my body gets turned on. Oh, my mind gets interested. Oh, I'm really enjoying this lovemaking. And afterwards you can lay there and say, I'm really glad I made the effort to go to the gym. Now, if you'd like to explore more deeply your passion triangle, your intimacy, conflict resolution side, your thrill, date, excitement side, and the sensual side, if you haven't already through this series, I invite you to take the passion quiz below and learn how you're doing in each of those 3 areas. And that helps me know how I can help you better. It's been a delight to be with you today. Stay tuned. We're just about to record a brand new series of Love Bite videos. They'll be coming out starting in a week or 2. And I've got a lot of things up my little red sleeve to dazzle and excite you. And most of all, to help you create a really terrific relationship, strong, solid, filled with love and romance, and sure, lots of regular stuff that can get in the way. But you deserve more love. And you know who deserves it even more? Your partner. So let's help you make love intentional.